a forgotten land where life endures in extraordinary ways against the most formidable of trials. Here time seems to stand still, yet the struggle for survival is a ceaseless unfolding drama. A masterpiece of nature where only the most tenacious can prevail. The old queen is dead. Now the greatest hunter takes the throne. She leads the kingdom's most brutal army, Aayumi. But the kingdom will test the new queen. Many would kill for the great marsh. Aayumi's daughters have a direct line to the throne. She must turn them into warriors. She is a mother and a commander. Your daughter shows much promise. She has talents your sons do not. She will be your heir. But leadership is not just about killing. Aayumi the provider must keep this unruly gang together and appease her brutal king Sakamai. No one can challenge him, least of all his sons. Even Aayumi must bow. Hidden in the ochre-tinted waters of the Guelta, the last crocodiles of Enedi, breathe slowly, and wait. They are not large nor fierce, but they are living proof of a Sahara that was once green. But now what remains is a small lagoon shrinking with the heat with time and with the changing climate itself. The air temperature exceeds 113 degrees Fahrenheit, while the average annual rainfall is a mere 2 inches. The crocodiles here are isolated, making them vulnerable to change and more susceptible to extinction. And they are not alone. Dozens of other species are adjusting their rhythms of life to survive amidst the aridity and the heat. As the wind blows through the ancient rock crevices, it sounds like a whisper of time. Beneath that apparent stillness, a shadow begins to move. It is the striped hyena. The striped hyena has a slender body with an ash-grey coat and distinct black stripes, serving as both perfect camouflage under the moonlight and a warning signal to enemies. The mane on its back can be erected, making its body appear up to 40% larger, creating a formidable impression in situations of threat or competition. Unlike the spotted hyena, it is solitary or lives in pairs, and sometimes in small groups of no more than 7 individuals. The striped hyena is an adaptable and opportunistic species. It can follow the faintest trail of blood, find an unfortunate carcass, and crush bone, claw, and skin with its powerful jaws. But when carrion is scarce, the striped hyena does not hesitate to become a hunter. Following in the footsteps of the creature known as the thief of the night, a snake with a peculiar pair of horns on its head appears burying itself beneath the scorching sand. It is none other than the Saharan horned viper, a silent killer in the heart of the desert. With a modest length of only 12 to 24 inches, the Saharan horned viper possesses a compact but extremely agile and deadly body. Its skin with a characteristic pattern allows it to almost completely disappear amidst the sand and rock. The most prominent feature is the 2 small horns above its eyes, which help reduce direct sunlight and make it look like an inanimate part of the environment. The snake moves using a side-winding technique, sliding sideways across the hot sand, which helps reduce friction and conserve energy. It is a natural ambusher, burying itself under the sand and waiting for prey to come near to launch a lightning-fast strike. Have you ever wondered why some desert snakes don't slither straight ahead but move in this peculiar side-winding fashion? This is not a dance, but a masterpiece of physics and survival. When sidewinding, the snake has only 2 points of its body in contact with the scorching hot sand at any given moment. This minimizes the risk of being burned on the desert surface, which can reach up to 158 degrees Fahrenheit. At the same time, this technique creates an effective thrust on the loose sand, allowing it to move quickly without slipping. It is like a master skier, but on a sea of sand. Sometimes the straightest path is not the most effective. To overcome the harshest challenges, we must learn to move differently, to adapt, and to find unexpected ways forward. Like the desert snake, sometimes we must sidewind through our difficulties, instead of confronting them head-on, only to realize that flexibility is the ultimate strength. From the silent movements of the killer in the sand, the journey of survival now leads us to the refuge of a small but incredible creature. It is the rock hyrax, an animal with a surprisingly close relationship to the elephant. Beneath its sandy grey fur is a body specially adapted to conquer rocky terrain and steep slopes. Its soft feet are covered with a sticky, rubber-like padding, allowing it to grip firmly onto near-vertical surfaces. Each morning, the rock hyrax emerges onto the ledges to bask in the sun, absorbing heat to raise its body temperature as it has poor thermoregulation. Each individual rarely strays more than 164 feet from its shelter, and there is always a sentinel on high, vigilant for predators from the sky like eagles or from the ground like the caracal. Though small, the rock hyrax plays an essential role in the food chain. It is a crucial prey for many predators and actively contributes to the decomposition and regeneration of vegetation. Where the snakes bury themselves under the hot sand and the hyraxes sunbathe on the cliffs, there is always an eye watching from the shadows. It is the caracal, a formidable predator with a compact and agile body. Its deep reddish gold coat blends perfectly with the desert terrain. But what truly defines this species are its erect ears tipped with long black tufts like ancient palms, forming one of the most sophisticated biological directional systems in the cat family. The caracal can detect the sound of a mouse at a distance of 164 feet, or sense the faint wing beats of disoriented migratory birds. When the moment comes, it leaps up to 10 feet into the air, then brings down its prey with a direct bite to the throat or the nape of the neck, paralyzing it instantly. In the biological chain, the caracal acts as a regulator of mid-level prey. It controls the overgrowth of rodent populations and maintains the balance of hyrax and granivorous bird populations. When the predators have retreated into the shade of the rocks, one species remains high above. It does not belong to the earth, not bound by the boundaries of rock or sand. It observes every movement in silence from a height of nearly 1,600 feet. In an arid world where life is always fragile, the white-backed vulture is the final link in the biological cycle. Its eyes can spot a small carcass from a distance of over 2 miles. When an animal falls, that biological signal quickly spreads across the sky through a chain reaction among different vultures. In just a few minutes from a single point of death on the ground, the sky fills with wings. And as the white-backed vulture descends in a spiral from on high, the ground gently trembles under the heavy beat of their wings like drums, heralding a ceremony of rebirth in the desert. The digestive system of the white-backed vulture is extremely acidic, allowing it to digest infected tissues without contracting diseases. The presence of this species acts as an invisible shield, preventing dangerous biological outbreaks. And as the last wings of the white-backed vultures disappear behind the edge of the red rock, a smaller, whiter silhouette with black-tipped wings like brushstrokes glides gently through the remaining layers of hot air. Massive, violent, unpredictable. hail the king. The Great Marsh, Aayumi's legacy. Control these waters, and you control everything. Many want to take it from you, Aayumi. To keep it, you had better build your pride. Armies and assassins are gathering strength, massing outside the marsh. Only the king can stop these threats. But his empire is vast, and Sakamai must protect it all. While he guards the south with his brother, the north is left vulnerable. The rebels grow bold. They know the king is away. Hyenas infect the kingdom like a plague. Where there is one, there will soon be many. War is coming. The Great Marsh is the glory of the kingdom. There is so much to gain and so much to lose. Let them play a little longer. They know nothing of the game to come. Aayumi's children must grow up fast. Soon they will have to fight for their marsh. The Egyptian vulture. One name, three worlds, myth, biology, and instinct. A descendant of an ancient evolutionary line of old-world vultures, the Egyptian vulture carries in its genes the instincts of species that existed more than 500,000 years ago. It is not the strongest in the sky, but it is one of the wisest. The Egyptian vulture often waits until the larger vultures have begun their feast. Then each individual descends in silence, approaching and carefully picking at the most nutritious soft tissue parts. It is no coincidence that the ancient Egyptians depicted it on stone walls, worshipping it as a symbol of Ma'at, order and truth. Because even in its way of feeding, everything is done with a precise logic and a respect for the natural order. Following the giant sandstone massifs deeper into the heart of Enedi, a completely different world is revealed. The relict oasis, forest fragments of an ancient forest that persist right in the center of the arid and harsh Sahara. In the current climatic context, the isolated presence of forests in the middle of the desert is an extremely rare ecological phenomenon. They not only represent the last refuge for many endemic species, but also play a crucial role in conserving biodiversity. One of the most prominent features of this ecosystem is the Bachikele Gorge, known locally as Bashi. At the bottom of the gorge, hundreds of feet deep, grow trees up to 65 feet tall with dense year-round green canopies, characteristic of the tropical forests of equatorial Africa. The Bachikele Gorge possesses a unique microclimate thanks to its vertical cliffs that provide constant shade and ancient underground springs. The average temperature at the bottom of the gorge is 10 to 18 degrees Fahrenheit lower than the surrounding desert. The Bidyat believe that the spirits of their ancestors still live in those waters and will continue to protect their descendants from thirst and from getting lost. Each year, the local people come here to worship their ancestors, offer sacrifices, and pray for the protection of their camel herds. Besides its cultural value, this place is also the last refuge for many animal species. On the arid ancestral rock and amidst the ruins of the still existing forest, there is a species that does not hide or camouflage. It presents itself as a vibrant part of the landscape, noisy, organized, and incredibly adapted. Amidst the vertical rock corridors on the banks of underground streams and cool microhabitats, groups of olive baboons gather in troops. The males can weigh up to 70 pounds and be nearly 4 feet long, including the tail. Their olive-grey fur allows them to easily blend in with the sand and rock of the region. They live in large groups called troops without a fixed dominant leader, but with a flexible social system based on hierarchy, kinship, and experience. They dig for roots, and tubers eat fallen fruits, tough leaves, and even small insects. When conditions permit, they also hunt. Some hunts are simple and quick, like chasing a bird or a lizard. But when food is severely scarce, they cooperate to hunt larger prey. When foraging, they disperse the seeds of many native plants through their feces. Each step, each movement is not just a search for food, but also opens up the possibility of survival for an entire micro-ecosystem. They soften the soil clear paths and sometimes become prey for larger predators, maintaining the integrity of the ecological chain. Distant roars echo on the wind. Rivals stalk the hills and forests to the north. The tattered queen of the north. She leads a small but ambitious pride. They too would kill for the marsh. They terrorize and plunder all who cross their path. The kingdom pits enemy against enemy on all fronts. Only the strongest can hold the marsh. Aayumi needs more soldiers. More teeth, more claws. It is time to mate. This is Sakamai's sacred rite. Do not get too close. Your father knows no mercy. Aayumi belongs only to the king. Sakamai gives no second chances. But Aayumi needs his services whatever the cost. Just keep him away from the pride. He is beyond their help. Sleep well, little prince. The king is appeased. His duty is done. Aayumi returns to an unsettled pride. Never leave them again. The price for Sakamai's service is paid in blood. When the shadow of the olive baboon disappears among the low bushes, it gives way to another silhouette that appears in silence. It is the Barbary sheep, Its robust body can weigh up to 320 pounds with a length of nearly 5 feet. Its sandy-colored coat with brown tones allows it to camouflage, acting as a suit of armor against the scorching heat and the watchful eyes of predators. And then there is the pair of scimitar-shaped horns, which can be up to 30 inches long, used for fighting or self-defense. When the Barbary sheep moves, it breaks up the surface soil, allowing water to penetrate deeper. It disperses seeds through its feces, helping to preserve native plant species that prevent erosion. In the arid Sahara desert, where the sun scorches every grain of sand, there still exist freshwater oases known locally as Gueltas. They are special freshwater pools, which can be small lagoons, underground springs, or semi-permanent streams. The most iconic and famous of the Gueltas of the Enedi Plateau in Chad is the Guelta d'Arche. Ecologically, the Gueltas are not just water sources. They are biological nodes that connect flora and fauna that seem impossible to exist in the Sahara. In addition, it is a frequent stopover for dozens of migratory bird species from Europe and Asia, especially in the early months of the year. An ancient legend tells that if someone accidentally finds a pearl at the bottom of the Guelta, an extremely rare phenomenon, that person has been blessed by the ancestors. For the Arid people, every drop of water from the Guelta is a part of the earth's soul. Many believe that dreams can be guided if one sleeps near the Guelta on a full moon night. The Guelta is not just a pool of water in the middle of the desert, but a place where every drop of water carries the memory of creation. And it is here that an extraordinary aquatic community has continued to exist in silence for millennia. Small groups of tilapia, such as Tilapia zilii or rare killifish species, can be found that only survive in extremely harsh conditions. But the most prominent and ancient is the Senegal bichir Polypterus senegalis, a fish that can breathe air thanks to its primitive lungs. They are not just the last residents of the Guelta, but also witnesses of a distant, wetter era, carrying within them the memory of the ancient rivers that once flowed through the Sahara. Amidst the dark cliffs where the scorching sun leaves no shade, a crocodile glides through the stagnant water in a deep ravine. There are no rivers here, no trace of forests and no wet grasslands, but miraculously they are still present and exist with an incredible tenacity. Today, fewer than 10 West African crocodiles remain scattered in the deep pools of the Enedi region. What is left is not just a population, but the last relic of an evolutionary branch that once covered the entire continent. They are over 13 feet long, weigh up to 1,540 pounds, with a dark skin covered in hard armor-like scales and a jaw containing nearly 70 conical teeth. But the most fearsome thing is not its strength, but the way it waits. A cold immobility, a survival strategy that expends not a single drop of energy until the final moment. In the Guelta, where food is scarce, the West African crocodile maintains its own biological order. It hides under the murky water, revealing only its eyes and nostrils. When a fish, a bird, or a small animal comes near the bank, it launches a lightning-fast attack. Everything happens in a single snap and a death roll, paralyzing the prey in seconds. By hunting weak, sick, or surplus prey, they keep the populations of fish and other aquatic creatures in balance. Their feces nourish the microorganisms at the bottom, supporting a closed material cycle in the Guelta's ecosystem. Even the carcasses they leave behind become a resource for scavenger birds, insects, and even the algae at the bottom. However, what makes this crocodile population so precious is not just its ecological role or its evolutionary morphology, but its isolation. For the local people, these crocodiles are not a threat, but sacred entities, symbols of protection and good fortune. For centuries, the inhabitants of Enedi have believed that the crocodiles are the spirits of the water, a sign of an underground life that still beats beneath the desert. As the last rays of the sun disappear over the sandstone cliffs of the Guelta, the residual heat still radiates from the cracked earth. Farther south, where the savanna only revives during the rainy season and then sinks back into sleep under a layer of red dust, a slow rhythm of life turns into silence. This is the landscape of the seasonal grasslands and the nomadic life of Enedi, a land not for the faint of heart, but one that nurtures the most resilient creatures of the Sahara. On an arid and barren land, wild creatures appear and disappear under the sun like mirages. It is the North African ostrich, which can be up to 9 feet tall and weigh over 310 pounds. But it can still run at a speed of 43 miles per hour if it needs to escape. Unlike its relatives to the south, this species only exists in small groups in Enedi. And in a place where animals have to struggle every day to survive, humans are not exempt from this competition. The Bidyat, a nomadic community scattered across this barren land, understand better than anyone the precariousness of nature. All their possessions are loaded onto camels, moving constantly in search of grass and water, two things more precious than any metal in the Sahara. In the collective memory, the ancestors of the Bidyat were warriors on horseback, returning from battle with animals captured from the enemy, a way to show strength and status. According to legend, inside those caves are the spirits of the rock who guard everything and punish those who dare to desecrate this place. Along the red dust corridors and the seasonal grasslands, the silhouette of a creature both familiar and mysterious appears. The dromedary camel is a single-humped animal associated with the desert landscape, carrying within it a story of survival that goes beyond imagination. This journey began millions of years ago, when the ancestors of the genus Camelus left North America, crossed the icy Beringia, passed through the Eurasian steppes, and evolved into the one-humped species. The dromedary camel appeared between 1 and 3 million years ago. Domesticated by humans on the Arabian Peninsula more than 4,000 years ago, it has followed trade caravans for thousands of miles across the Sahara Desert. Scorching hot days, bone-chilling nights, winds that carry no water. The dromedary camel does not just survive, it is adapted to dominate. It can lose up to 25% of its body water without dying, something that would kill most animals. Its oval red blood cells allow blood to circulate easily, even when the body is dehydrated. Its hump, which contains fat, not water, as many believe, is an energy reserve that can sustain it for weeks without food. But its real talent lies in migration. Nomadic migratory behavior is the key to its survival in this harsh land. Each dromedary camel herd led by a dominant male travels over 30 miles a day. With strong teeth, they pluck thorny leaves without bleeding. Its three-chambered stomach digests poisonous plants that other animals avoid. In Enedi, the dromedary camel becomes an architect of the ecosystem. With its migration, it disperses seeds through its feces. With its selective grazing, it avoids damaging plant roots. It is part of a cycle of life between aridity and hope. However, the dromedary camel no longer exists in a completely wild state. For 2,000 years, it has only existed as a domestic animal or in feral populations outside its native habitat. This paradox raises a great question to survive. Did the dromedary camel have to become more a part of humanity than of nature? Along with the journey of the dromedary camel, there is another creature that once reigned over these lands with a steadfast silence and an absolute endurance. They call it the spirit of the desert. In a body about 3 feet tall and weighing 220 pounds exists a strange biological machine designed for temperatures up to 122 degrees Fahrenheit, where water is a luxury. Its cream-white coat acts as a natural heat-reflecting mirror, reducing the absorption of the sun's rays. During the Saharan winter, its coat turns grey, blending into the arid landscape. It can live for months without drinking a single drop of water. Every blade of grass, every drop of dew, all are sources of life. A stomach divided into compartments, kidneys highly efficient at retaining water, and restricted sweat glands. The addax once traveled hundreds of miles, following the rains like travelers without maps. Herds of hundreds, even thousands, are now only a memory. Currently, only small groups of 5 to 15 individuals remain gliding in silence like ghosts in a sea of sand. The most experienced individuals take the lead, remembering ancient paths, unburnt patches of grass, and waterholes that only appear once every few years. It chooses a strategy of hiding, waiting, avoiding conflict. During the day, it digs burrows in the sand to escape the scorching sunday. At night, when the desert temperature drops sharply, it begins to move, taking advantage of the darkness to feed. There was a time when it was thought that the addax had disappeared from nature, but no. In 2023, amidst the ancient rock formations of Enedi, 10 individuals were reintroduced from breeding centers. It was a rebirth, and it reinforces the belief that what God has created will never be forgotten. The footsteps of the addax fade away, and the journey brings us to the smallest fox on the planet. It is the tiny fennec fox with a length of only 16 inches and a weight of less than 3 pounds. But do not let its appearance fool you. Its ears up to 6 inches long are its ultimate weapon. They not only help to dissipate heat, but also act as a biological radar capable of picking up the sounds of mice, insects, or lizards moving under the sand. It does not stalk like a cat, nor does it need the speed of a canid. The fennec fox's hunting strategy combines extremely sensitive hearing, quick reflexes, and an incredible ability to dig in the sand. It does not need to drink water. It gets its moisture directly from its prey and from fruits. From the dunes of Morocco to the dry steppes of Sudan, the fennec fox has evolved over tens of thousands of years to adapt to one of the most extreme environments on the planet. On that journey, it plays a fundamental role in controlling the populations of rodents and insects, and in turn, it is the natural prey of predators like jackals, hyenas, or large owls. The first ray of sunlight glides over the red cliffs, and a winged shadow soars from a lonely peak. The tawny eagle, the lord of the aerial silence in the land of the rock desert. It was not born to hide like the fox, nor to wait for the night like the owl. The tawny eagle is the daylight with deadly precision, with a wingspan of up to 6.5 feet, a robust body of nearly 7 pounds, and a vision capable of detecting the movement of a small lizard from hundreds of feet away. From tens of thousands of years ago, this eagle has evolved to dominate the lands scorched by the sunday. Sometimes it dives from a height of 330 feet, swooping fast and catching its prey, a hare, a snake, a terrestrial bird, or even a newborn gazelle just taking its first steps. Sometimes it waits for hours on a dry tree to surprise an unsuspecting victim. The behavior of the tawny eagle changes with the seasons. When the rains come and the grass turns green again, the young are born. The nest is built on tall, solitary trees amidst the arid plains where the wind cannot reach the eggs. During the long dry season, it flies further, sometimes hundreds of miles a day, in search of the last patches of life. It does not always hunt alone. A mature pair can coordinate to take down larger prey, attacking from two directions to corner the target in a place with no escape. Thanks to its diet, it regulates the density of rodents, terrestrial birds and snakes, contributing to the balance of the entire ecosystem. And when it eats carrion, it not only sustains its own life, but also cleans the environment and prevents disease outbreaks.
In the most remote corners of the world, isolated by vast oceans, lie tropical islands. These are home to strange and wonderful animals, creatures that have evolved in isolation and among human cultures in extraordinary ways. Each island is a miniature world where life unfolds according to its own distinct rules. From peculiar reptiles to flightless birds, nature here is filled with surprises. This unique biodiversity makes these islands living treasures of the earth. The Indonesian archipelago stretches over 3,100 miles along the equator. Here on the island of Flores, 2 million souls live their lives interwoven with the wild. It is a bond not born of romance but of necessity, a daily dance between humanity and a primeval world. The people's connection to the sea is essential, as boats are the only means of transport in this kingdom of lizards, evoking ancient maritime legends. Komodo Island lies within the Lesser Sunda archipelago, formed 15 million years ago by the collision of the Australian and Asian tectonic plates. This geological event has sculpted breathtaking landscapes with curving beaches shaped by powerful waves and currents, drawing a line between two worlds. Indonesia is the world's largest archipelagic state with over 17,000 islands. Yet only Komodo is home to this mythical dragon. The Komodo dragon, the largest lizard on Earth, inhabits the mountain slopes, forests, and even the beaches. They prefer places that are dry and warm. Their immense size is thought to be a result of a phenomenon known as island gigantism. A fully grown male can reach a length of 8.5 feet and weigh up to 200 pounds. Despite their ponderous appearance, Komodo dragons can reach speeds of up to 12 miles per hour. As they are known to be cannibalistic, young dragons often seek refuge in trees to survive. And yet the dragons are not the oldest sovereigns of this realm. To find its true ancients, we must leave the sun-scorched land and journey downwards into a world of perpetual twilight. This is a sea lily, a member of the crinoid family. They flourished during the Devonian and Carboniferous periods, hundreds of millions of years ago. Once there were over 5,600 species, but most have since vanished. Today, only about 600 species remain. Their bodies have a single mouth and anus with 10 strangely coloured arms. These arms are not only for filter feeding, but also for locomotion. Sea lilies can walk and even swim using these very appendages. Their water vascular system, composed of tiny tubes, serves for movement, respiration and sensation. It is an incredible survival mechanism of the natural world. They are living witnesses to a prehistoric era, having survived multiple mass extinctions. Every graceful movement of the sea lily is the result of a sophisticated anatomy virtually unchanged for hundreds of millions of years. In the silence of the seabed, this mysterious creature quietly endures a reminder that the past has never truly disappeared. Here, amidst branching acropora corals, damselfish gather in shoals. The crevices in the reef offer a safe haven from predators, an effective survival strategy. Gathering in shoals is not an unusual phenomenon. However, forming schools is not solely for defense. Some predators also hunt together to increase their effectiveness. In the underwater world, strength comes not only from size, but also from unity. A shoal of fish moves in perfect unison like a single entity, confusing predators and making it difficult to isolate an individual. This cooperation is a testament to an ancient principle: survival is the art of coordination. Coral groupers operate like pirates. This formation gives them agility and speed when hunting small fish, crustaceans, and cephalopods. Their presence spreads terror, yet they too can become prey for larger hunters. However, there are predators in Komodo that know no fear, for they have no natural enemies. Underwater, they are a sudden terror, appearing and vanishing in a flash. But in Komodo, there is always something stronger, and the law of survival allows no mistakes. While the semicircled angelfish searches for small crustaceans, the Titan triggerfish prefers a solitary life. Triggerfish feed on mollusks, crustaceans, corals, and sea anemones. They do not hesitate to tear apart coral or dig into the sand to find food. However, their flesh can be toxic due to the accumulation of ciguatoxin from algae. This region is characterized by small volcanic islands surrounded by vibrant coral reefs. The juvenile batfish employs a clever ruse. It is black with an orange outline mimicking the colors of a distasteful flatworm to deter predators. As they mature, they change both their color and their shape. They feed on algae and small crustaceans, living alone or in small schools. Underwater creatures sometimes take on bizarre forms. In the ocean world, appearance can be the strongest defense. Their strangeness is not just to attract attention, but to deceive death. The sea apple, like the sea lily, belongs to the echinoderm phylum. Its mouth is surrounded by feather-like tentacles. The waters of this archipelago are home to harlequin sweetlips, known for their vibrant colours and prominent lips. Unlike batfish, sweetlips are solitary as juveniles and only form groups after reaching maturity. The black lines on their bodies will soon transform into spots. Every movement of the sweetlips is a living brushstroke against the vibrant canvas of the coral. Their thick lips and sparkling eyes make them look like the ocean's peculiar jesters. As they grow, they transform from solitary wanderers into bustling inhabitants of the reef. The metamorphosis from black stripes to polka dots is the mark of time etched upon their bodies. Among a myriad of strange creatures, the sweetlips still stand out like the free spirits of the sea. The ocean is the quiet home of creatures of every shape and form. Each ripple carries the gentle rhythm of life beneath the clear blue water. Corals, fish, and tiny organisms coexist in a delicate balance. Beneath the sea surface, time seems to flow more slowly, gently, and persistently. The marine ecosystem is a gentle symphony of life echoing through every wave. In Komodo, there are only two seasons, the dry season and the rainy season. The heavy rains of December stimulate plant growth, giving the archipelago a fresh green hue. But the dry season lasts from March to November, and the green turns to gold. The vegetation withers, turning the land into a savanna awaiting the next rains. The Komodo archipelago is of volcanic origin, creating a variety of terrains from mountains rising to 2,700 feet to low-lying plains. And beneath the water, another world thrives. Every kingdom has its own ruler. Every creature here plays a unique role in the harmonious dance of the sea. Beneath the shimmering water, life continues to shine in its own quiet way. This is a reef of Acropora coral. It grows vertically in areas with weak currents. They are the silent architects of the ocean, building vibrant fortresses in the heart of the deep sea. Each coral branch is a symbol of time, growing millimeter by millimeter in eternal silence. The polyps hide during the day and emerge at night to capture prey. A small relative of the manta ray also appears. Small size does not mean it is defenseless. The tail of the blue-spotted stingray has a venomous barb. Its brilliant coloration is a warning. Do not attack me or you will regret it. And this is a manta ray. Melanism, a genetic mutation, gives some individuals a rare black coloration, a chromatic variation that can change over time. Across their undersides, a constellation of spots forms a unique celestial map. No two are ever alike. It is this personal signature, nature's own fingerprint, that allows us a glimpse into their secret odysseys through the blue. This giant ray is a living testament to the precious biodiversity that must be protected. Each appearance is a rare opportunity for humanity to better understand the wondrous life at the bottom of the ocean. The wingspan of a manta ray can reach 23 feet. It can weigh up to 2.2 tons, and its lifespan can be as long as 90 years. They must move continuously to survive, for if they stop, they will sink to the bottom. Recent studies show they do not migrate thousands of miles as once thought. A satellite tracking study revealed they travel only a few hundred miles on a single journey. They frequently return to the same coral reefs. What is it that draws them back? In nature, nothing happens without a reason. Life here is not just about competition, but also about cooperation. Manta rays benefit from the services of smaller fish. Certain areas of the reef function as cleaning stations. Parasites and dead skin are an ideal meal for the fish that help clean the manta rays. This is a mutually beneficial relationship. It is believed that manta rays also intentionally bask in the sun to allow ultraviolet rays to kill harmful bacteria. And sometimes they leap out of the water, perhaps to dislodge parasites, or perhaps simply for fun. Even these giants allow cleaner fish into their gills. Yellow butterfly fish also take advantage of this opportunity to feed. In deeper waters near the reefs, this female manta ray carries new life within her. Her shape reveals that she is pregnant. From one lost world forged in the fire of colliding continents, our journey now carries us across an ocean to another. A vast land that broke away from Africa and has drifted in isolation for 90 million years. This is Madagascar, an arc of life sailing alone through the currents of time. It holds over 15,000 species, found nowhere else. Some 55 million years ago, strange animals arrived here after crossing nearly 300 miles from Africa. The ring-tailed lemur. This family of 9 is warming itself in the morning sun, recharging for the long day ahead. The sap of the euphorbia plant can burn human skin, but this lemur is immune. The sap is also rich in fat, a vital energy source for their survival. The ring-tailed lemur, a primate endemic to Madagascar, thrives in the island's drier forests. They begin the day with a distinctive ritual sunbathing to regulate their body temperature after the cool night. Their diet is wonderfully varied, a mix of fruits, leaves, flowers, and the energy-rich sap of trees. The structure of their society is a matriarchy. Females hold the dominant rank, presiding over the entire group. And sometimes they leap out of the water, perhaps to dislodge parasites, or perhaps simply for fun. The tiny Laborde's chameleon is no more than an inch long when it hatches. It lives for only 4 months, the shortest lifespan of any land vertebrate. Its eyes can move independently, allowing it to scan for food in all directions. With an abundance of food, a male chameleon can increase its size 5-fold in just 2 months. Due to their short lifespan, the competition for a chance to mate is incredibly fierce. After dispatching his rival, he must seize his opportunity. When the dry season returns, not a single adult chameleon will be left alive. Over 300 square miles of sharp limestone pinnacles form an oasis for a special kind of lemur. They are masters of climbing amidst this labyrinth of razor-sharp rock. Only this species of lemur can conquer such a harsh land. Deccan's sifaka. In the vast skies of the Indonesian archipelago, life is not governed by the sea and jungle alone. Here in the upper reaches of the air and across the wetlands, the world of birds unfolds another captivating chapter. The grey-headed fish eagle, a supreme symbol of power and serenity. Silently gliding on thermal currents, this raptor surveys for its quarry from a remarkable altitude. From this ethereal vantage point, its eyes, 8 times more powerful than our own, are not merely observing. They are penetrating the veil between air and water, locking onto the faintest shadow of a fish or the sinuous form of a snake below. Every dive is a study in precision-curved, sharp talons plunging like steel hooks. Upon the coastal cliffs, they build their nest, a formidable fortress in this challenging domain. Farther inland, where grasses weave through marshland, a delicate chirping rises like the very rhythm of life. It is the familiar call of the zebra finch, diminutive, yet utterly distinct. They live in flocks, bound together like a miniature society where every song carries a unique heritage. This is no simple melody. It is a legacy passed from father to son, a fragile thread of sound that weaves the story of their lineage through the generations. And this black bar across its chest is more than a marking. It is a badge of honor, a silent declaration of status that every member of the flock understands implicitly. A sophisticated evolutionary blueprint contained within a body that weighs less than half an ounce. As the evening light spills across the water, a pure white form drifts over the marsh, seemingly unbound by gravity. The milky stork, the proud embodiment of tranquility, but this gentle exterior conceals an engine of immense power, built for endurance, capable of propelling this elegant form across entire seas. They can form loyal pair bonds. Few birds forge such an enduring social connection. Every gesture, every distant call is a means of reinforcing the connection between the two individuals. During the breeding season, the male guards the nest with the vigilance of a silent warrior. The black-faced spoonbill, its spatulate bill, is a masterpiece of evolution. They sweep their heads from side to side in the shallows, sensing the slightest movement with hundreds of nerve receptors in their bill. When the bill snaps shut, there is no escape for the creature within. Its white plumage and long dark legs allow it to navigate the muddy flats and submerged roots with ease. Come the breeding season, a crest of golden yellow feathers appears on its breast, a vibrant declaration for a mate. Across the skies of the Indonesian archipelago, the diversity of birds mirrors the profound vitality of the earth. And as the last wing beat vanishes beyond the clouds, one can only stand in silence before the absolute beauty of nature. Further east lies the high plateau, a massive barrier that divides the island's climate. At an altitude of over 6,500 feet, it bears the full force of the monsoon rains. Millions of years of rain have carved fertile valleys, ideal for cultivating rice, the staple food of the Malagasy people. Asian settlers brought their skills here thousands of years ago, transforming the steepest slopes into terraced paddies. January is the peak of the rainy season. Each kilogram of rice requires over 500 gallons of water to grow. Within 3 months, the rice will be ready for harvest. To the east of the highlands lies another world entirely, with 10 times the rainfall of the west, creating lush tropical rainforests. When Madagascar's ancient and peculiar animals reached these eastern forests, they thrived. Is home to 2/3 of its flora and fauna. However, our impact on the island is growing. Madagascar's forests are disappearing faster than those of any other tropical nation. "95% of lemur species are now threatened with extinction, making them the most endangered group of mammals in the world." one of the most critically endangered species, lives on the eastern side of the island. The greater bamboo lemur. 95% of its diet is bamboo, even though bamboo secretes cyanide. Each day, one individual can consume a quantity of the poison sufficient to kill 5 people. It has become so specialized that it cannot survive anywhere else. The island of Madagascar has reached a tipping point. Only persistent conservation efforts can ensure that its unique and wonderful wildlife will survive into the future. The story of these islands, these worlds apart, is the story of life at its most inventive and its most vulnerable. They are a profound reminder that what takes an eternity to build can be lost in a moment. And that only through our understanding and our protection can these unique and precious worlds endure.
The matriarch, guided by a wisdom passed down through generations, knows that this threshold is a dangerous one. For the woodland does not offer shelter to all. To some, it offers a place to hide. The young calf, utterly exhausted, is slowing its mother's pace, but they cannot afford to stop. A pride of lions is on the prowl, and a weary calf would make an ideal prize. With the strength of the herd, they push steadily onward. The lions wisely lie low, allowing the colossal procession to pass through their territory. These great cats are conserving their energy for another quarrel. The deep shadows of the trees will make an ambush that much easier. A male kudu is oblivious to the danger that now lurks so close. The elephants sense the peril. Slowly and with great caution they back away. The female kudus also read the signs, but the great bull remains heedless. In the fiery heart of Africa, where the sky seems to meet the earth, a river carves its path through the golden plains. This is the Masai Mara. This legendary river not only nourishes the vast land, but is the very lifeblood for millions of wild souls. Each year, as the dry season arrives, the Mara becomes the stage for the greatest migration on the planet. Herds of wildebeest zebra and Thompson's gazelle face peril crossing the current where the jaws of crocodiles lie hidden, waiting coldly to end a life. In that moment, all of nature seems to hold its breath. Life and death are separated by a single leap. Kenya is a place where nature does not merely exist. It lives vibrantly, fiercely, and full of spirit. Along the vast plains among the bush and sparse woodlands, life is in constant motion. The Big Five, the five iconic species of the African continent, appear, one by one, the main characters in a wilderness drama. There is the African elephant, silent but majestic. The Cape buffalo, stubborn and resilient. The rhinoceros, secretive and rare. The leopard, as graceful as a phantom. And of course, the lion, the uncrowned king of the savanna. Kenya is also home to thousands of species of birds, antelope, giraffes, hippos, cheetahs, and countless reptiles, each a unique note in the great symphony of survival. Among them all, the lion is the creature that silences nature itself whenever it roars. With its magnificent golden mane, regal gait, and powerful gaze, the lion is a living symbol of strength and authority. The Masai Mara is Kenya's most famous reserve, where large lion prides live in tightly organized social structures. Unlike the solitary image of other great cats like tigers or leopards, lions are social animals. A dominant male, sometimes a coalition of brothers, leads a pride of females and their young. These strong bonds, discipline, and clear roles forge a collective as strong as any tribe. The sun scorches the Kenyan savanna in the final days of the dry season, when the heat seems to crack the earth itself. In this arid landscape, the Masai Mara River, though nearly depleted, remains a vital destination for countless species. A formidable herd of Cape buffalo, hundreds strong, moves slowly toward the riverbank where a few muddy pools remain. Their curved horns, like weapons of war, glint in the sun. They lower their heads to drink, their massive bodies heaving in the oppressive heat. A few females rest in the sparse shade, while the young, caked in mud, huddle close to their mothers. The air seems peaceful, but on the savanna, everything can change in an instant. Not far away, beneath a dry acacia tree, dark golden shapes lie motionless in the tall grass. A pride of lions, several adult females and an old male are resting, but their eyes are fixed on the buffalo herd. They need no signal, no sound. The wind shifts, carrying the thick scent of sweat and the sound of hooves in the mud. A hunt, or more accurately, a battle is about to begin. In a moment, the lions will explode into action, shattering the stillness and attack the herd with all the power and instinct of millennia. Blood, mud, and dust will merge in a merciless dance of survival. After a breathtaking chase, the lion pride has finally brought down its prey. They begin to tear at the flesh, savoring a freshness rarely tasted. It is a worthy reward for the victor after a battle of life and death. But even for a king, the throne is never permanent. In the world of lions, life is a series of merciless battles. Adult males constantly challenge one another for power, for control of the pride, and with it, the right to mate. These brutal fights can last for hours, ending in deep wounds or even death. When a new male deposes the ruler, he often kills all the cubs of the vanquished, forcing the females back into estrus, a harsh but necessary biological cycle for evolution. In the heart of the arid Kalahari Desert, a place that seems to swallow all life, there exists a natural wonder named Okavango. It is a rare inland delta where the river does not flow to the sea but vanishes into the thirsty earth. Each year when the floods from Angola arrive, the Okavango Delta awakens like a miracle. And that is when the animals begin their long journey, converging here from all directions. After crossing hundreds of miles of burning desert, herds of buffalo, giraffe, antelope and wild dogs finally find the fresh, life-giving pools of water. With each step sinking into the soft, damp earth, they rush to the water's edge, drinking and immersing themselves as if to quench a thirst built up over the entire dry season. It is a moment of rebirth as exhausted creatures find new vitality in a land that seemed utterly barren. On a plain of green grass, where the water has receded after the flood, leaving behind moist, soft earth, dark golden shapes lie still. It is a lion pride intently watching every step of a distant wildebeest herd. The silence is heavy. A light breeze skims the tops of the grass, carrying the scent of earth and life. The silence is heavy. A light breeze skims the tops of the grass, carrying the scent of earth and life. Amidst the seemingly peaceful vegetation, only the amber eyes of the lions are in motion, watching, analyzing, and waiting. Hunting is not a game of strength, but an art of timing. And the floodplains of the Okavango are the stage where instinct, strategy, and patience combine to create a breathtaking display of survival. As the first lioness bursts from the tall grass, the wildebeest herd scatters in panic. The thunder of hooves on damp earth and the sound of ragged breaths echo across the plains. The lions move like living arrows, tearing through wind and grass, pursuing their prey under a sun that beats down upon the land. On the Okavango Plains, where everything seems a symbol of peace and fertility, lies one of life's most brutal battlefields. Here, every creature must choose to flee or to fight, to wait or to attack. Whether predator or prey, each day is a gamble for survival. Life continues in an eternal cycle. The death of a wildebeest today is food for the lions, the energy that will sustain the lives of their cubs in the future. There is no absolute victory, only a balance, fragile, cold, and haunting on the winds that sweep across the Okavango. The African savanna stretches endlessly its golden fields and scattered acacia trees, creating the ideal habitat for the lion. The climate here is harsh, with a long, dry season of high temperatures, alternating with a short, rainy season when the grasses return to green. This change creates a distinct rhythm of life, where migratory animals are constantly moving in search of food and water. And the lion, the apex predator, always follows these migrations. The savanna lion has a large, muscular body and a pale, tawny coat, which provides perfect camouflage in the dry grass. The male is distinguished by his dense mane, not just a symbol of strength, but also a layer of protection during fights. They are not as adept at climbing as leopards, nor as fast as cheetahs, but they compensate with formidable strength and remarkable teamwork, allowing them to take down large prey like buffalo, zebra, and wildebeest. Unlike most solitary big cats, the savanna lion is a social animal with a complex pride structure. A pride typically consists of 10 to 15 individuals led by 1 or 2 dominant males. The lionesses are responsible for hunting and raising the cubs, while the males protect the territory and the pride from intruders. This unity and clear division of labor make them the most effective hunters on the savanna. The lion cubs, their coats still dappled with spots, chase and pounce on one another in the grass, climbing on their mother's back and playing with her ears and tail in a game that never ends. Every clumsy pounce is one of their first lessons in hunting. In this arid land, a mother's care is the safest fortress for these small lives. And in these rare moments of peace, the entire savanna seems to fall silent, leaving only the sound of the wind and the warmth of the lion family. As the first rays of sunlight appear on the horizon, the Masai Mara awakens in a majestic scene. In a moment of seeming tranquility, the cold, yellow eyes of a Nile crocodile slowly break the murky surface of the Mara River, revealing just a fraction of its lethal danger. Somewhere in the tall grass, cheetahs glide like phantoms, their agile bodies blending into the landscape almost invisible. On the quiet bank of the Mara River, a pride of lions gathers silently, leisurely enjoying sips of cool water in the burning heat of the savanna. A majestic male lion suddenly lets out a deafening roar. The sound echoes across the vast plains, a declaration of indisputable power. In the Masai Mara, the weak are never allowed to survive. Located in southwestern Kenya, the Masai Mara is a masterpiece of nature where golden plains stretch to the horizon, interwoven with the Mara River, which winds like a silver thread sparkling in the sun. This is the crucible of the most fearsome predators, a perfect portrait of the balance between power and adversity. The lion's sharp eyes immediately spot a warthog lingering near the bushes. Wasting no time, it launches into pursuit. The warthog quickly becomes a satisfying meal for the pride. With over 90 species of mammals and 570 species of birds, the Masai Mara boasts one of the most diverse ecosystems in the world. Vast herds of wildebeest move like a living river across the land, creating a spectacular sight. Beneath the river's surface, a massive dark shape moves slowly, almost invisible in the turbid water. The cold, emotionless eyes of a Nile crocodile watch every movement on the surface. Its sharp teeth remain hidden in the mud, waiting for the opportune moment. As the wildebeest plunge into the river, creating a chaos of splashing water and panicked cries, a crocodile suddenly erupts from the water. Its jaws clamp down on its prey, and in an instant, a brutal death roll tears the animal apart. The sound of breaking bones mingles with the victim's cries of agony till a dreadful silence falls. Here waits a creature from a lost world, a survivor from the age of dinosaurs. Its power is not measured in weight or territory, but in the depth of time. For its jaws close with the accumulated force of 60 million years of evolution, an inescapable return to a primal past. Each year, approximately 6,000 wildebeest die attempting to cross the Mara River, falling victim to these ancient hunters. They do not hunt merely to survive, but to enforce the unforgiving law of nature. With terrifying patience, they can wait for hours underwater to execute a single perfect strike. At the Mara River, life and death are interwoven more intensely than anywhere else on Earth. As the harsh dry season grips the African plains, the Mara River is reduced to its last remaining pools of water. On the damp mud of the cracked riverbed, dozens of hippos and crocodiles are forced to crowd together, surviving in a confined space. A silent war between life and death plays out hour by hour, revealing the brutality of wild nature. Under the scorching sun of the Masai Mara, a solitary hippopotamus walks quietly across the cracked earth. Each slow, heavy step seems to carry both exhaustion and a final glimmer of hope. It is searching for a place that can offer life a new pool of water, a chance to survive the harsh, dry season. After a lonely journey across the arid land, the hippo finally finds a waterhole, a precious oasis where its kind are resting peacefully in the fresh, life-giving water. There, the remaining waterhole has become the center of survival for all species during the unforgiving dry season. Hippos are the distinctive inhabitants of the Mara River, playing an irreplaceable role in maintaining ecological balance. Spending over 16 hours a day submerged to protect their sensitive skin from the burning sun, these creatures, weighing up to 6,600 pounds, move slowly along the riverbed with graceful steps as if dancing in their own peaceful, watery world. As the young hippo quietly approaches the new pool, its arrival quickly draws the wary eyes of the hippos that occupy the territory. Unwilling to accept a stranger, the members of the pod react immediately. The dominant male, large and scarred, moves forward with unquestionable authority. A fierce battle begins. A single hippo can excrete up to 55 pounds of dung a day, an act that seems insignificant, but it is an essential source of nutrients. This waste promotes the growth of aquatic plants and small fish populations, indirectly nourishing the entire Mara River ecosystem. Under the searing African sun, the Masai Mara savanna is a stage for great predators. Chief among them is the lion, a symbol of power and majesty. The roar of a male lion can carry for up to 5 miles, shaking the savanna and putting all creatures on alert. While the male lion stands proudly on a rocky outcrop with his magnificent mane, it is the lionesses who are the true warriors. Hidden in the tall grass, their sharp eyes watch every move of the zebras and antelope. With perfect coordination, they encircle their prey, launching precise attacks. Though their bite force is only about 650 psi, they do not need bone-crushing jaws, for their technique is to clamp down on the prey's throat until it suffocates, felling their target in an instant. Across the vast Masai Mara, zebras stand out with their black and white stripes like bold brushstrokes on a vibrant natural canvas. This distinctive appearance makes them a favorite target for lions, the region's ultimate predator. However, a zebra is no easy prey. They possess powerful legs, always ready to bolt like an arrow, attempting to escape the predator's claws with incredible speed and agility. The pride approaches in silence, their steps so light they seem to glide over the grass. To wait for the golden moment when the prey is at its most vulnerable, its guard completely down. Their sharp eyes are fixed on the zebras, grazing nonchalantly, completely unaware of the danger. But the lions do not attack immediately. Predatory instinct tells them to wait. And then that moment arrives. With a decisive leap, the lioness lunges like an arrow, shattering the silence. After a heart-pounding chase, the zebra is exhausted and cannot escape the lion's decisive attack. Amidst the arid deserts and semi-deserts of North America, where winds whip sand across a sun-scorched landscape, a distinctive sound arises, the rattle of a rattlesnake's tail. That sound is a warning from the kingdom of death, a reminder that here dwells one of the most dangerous predators of the American West. Belonging to the genus Crotalus, the rattlesnake is the embodiment of silent danger forged by millions of years of evolution into a perfect assassin. The tail is the rattlesnake's most striking feature, composed of hollow, interlocking segments of keratin. When threatened or preparing to strike, the snake vibrates its tail up to 50 times per second, creating its signature sound. This sound not only intimidates enemies, but serves as a clear warning that death is near. The rattlesnake's lethal power lies in its hemotoxic venom, which attacks the blood and muscle tissues, directly impairing blood clotting and causing rapid necrosis. A single bite can cause uncontrollable bleeding and lead to death within hours if untreated. The strike itself is incredibly fast, just 0.2 of a second, leaving the victim almost no time to react. Across the scorched, arid lands of the North American desert, the roadrunner glides skillfully between low bushes with lightning-fast steps. With its slender body, long balancing tail, and sharp beak, it is an expert hunter of insects, lizards, and even venomous snakes. Unlike most birds, the roadrunner almost never needs to fly, as its powerful legs allow it to reach speeds of up to 20 miles per hour. As the sun climbs high, it spreads its wings and back to absorb heat, making the most of the harsh environment's energy. It is a living symbol of perfect adaptation to the arid desert. The bird silently guards its nest, where fragile eggs lie neatly arranged. With a vigilant eye that never wavers, it watches every movement, ready to confront any predator that dares to approach. The roadrunner has spotted a rattlesnake nearby. It rushes toward the snake, preparing for a fight to protect its precious eggs. The rattlesnake is the silent ode of the desert, a creature that inspires fear without a roar. It does not contend, it does not hurry, but when it makes a sound, all of nature holds its breath to listen. It is no accident that nature gave it a rattle, for only the chosen can make life itself pause with a single sound. Amidst the dense, humid jungles of Asia, where sunlight filters through their canopy, a legendary creature moves in silence, the king cobra. With no throne or scepter, it reigns with lethal venom, extraordinary intelligence, and an incredible instinct. It is not just a predator, but a symbol of power and natural balance. The king cobra Ophiophagus hanna is the world's longest venomous snake, with a territory stretching from India to Southeast Asia. They are masterful explorers, excellent swimmers, skilled climbers, and agile movers on land. Their keen eyes and forked tongue help them locate prey with absolute precision. The king cobra's venom, containing powerful neurotoxins, attacks the central nervous system, directly causing paralysis and respiratory failure within minutes. A single bite can deliver enough venom to bring down a full-grown elephant. A bite to a deer can paralyze it. It is this combination of speed, power, and lethal venom that makes the king cobra the ultimate predator in its world. Its prey succumbs quickly. The king cobra is known as the snake eater due to its specialized diet, which consists mainly of other snakes such as common cobras, kraits, and even pythons. While hunting, they exhibit impressive patience and strategy. A lightning-fast strike, accurate to the inch by inch, is all they need to subdue their victim. In a sparse patch of wild forest, two enormous king cobras rise up in a tense confrontation. Neither flinches nor attacks immediately. Instead, they move slowly, assessing each other with cold, sharp eyes. This is a characteristic ritual of combat between males during the mating season, a contest for the right to access a female. This battle is not intended to kill the opponent, but to display the strength and courage of the mightiest in the Serpent Kingdom. But behind that fearsome image lies a moving portrait of a devoted mother. Unlike most snakes, the female king cobra builds a nest, guards her eggs for weeks without eating, and leaves only just before they hatch to avoid the instinct to prey on her own young. The king cobra is not a monster to be destroyed, but a masterpiece of evolution. As a king cobra glides away, disappearing into the deep green of the forest, it leaves behind a message: the future of this king depends on our respect and understanding. To protect the king cobra is to protect the wild beauty and the delicate balance of this planet.